Dear friends of love for volleyball, amor por el voleibol, I have the pleasure and the honor to talk today with an Olympian, an Italian Olympic player, Olympic champion. No, I will start again. That's why I recorded.
Not Olympic.
I know.
Yes.
I confused my words. Again, dear friends of love for volleyball, amor por el voleibol, I have the pleasure and the honor to talk today with an Italian player, Olympic medalist, Italian champion with his club many times, chosen as best players also in several championships. He has also been a coach, a TV sport commentator, and is currently a professional coach. I mean Franco Bertoli, who is talking to me today about his sport life. Hello, Franco. How are you?
Hello. Nice to meet you. It's okay. I am happy to talk with you and with your amor por el voleibol. That I like it. I like your work.
Fantastic. Many thanks. For me, it's so important. I wanted to ask you, first of all, Franco, about when did you start playing volleyball and why did you choose volleyball as your sport?
I began to play volleyball when I was 17 years old. And I come from Udine, it's the northeast of Italy, and my first team in professional team was Padova. Okay. And after I played with Silvano Prandi in Torino, Clippan, Robe di Capa, and after in Modena. And I began in Udine, and I was player of football and athletics too. I played 3 sports because I have a very good body.
A sport talent.
Yeah, absolutely. My father and my mother give me a very talented body, a lot of characteristics, very good characteristics for sport.
Okay,
and all sports, not only volleyball.
Absolutely. And when did you choose finally that volleyball was your sport? Because I know in Italy, sport, football, basketball, tennis. It's a sport country, Italy. But when did you choose? Okay, I'm going to be a volleyball player. Did you have some remembrance of this?
Yes, I don't remember very well, but from 15 maybe years, I decided to play only volleyball. Okay. And I played in Udine, in my city, and after I went in Padova for study in Padova and play my first professional championship, and I was 17 years old.
And this time you have some idea that volleyball would be your life, or for example, did you choose to be a professional player, or it was something natural that was happening to you at your youth?
No, it's we are talking about 1976.
Okay.
And volleyball is not a profession.
Yeah.
It's not much money. And I went in Padova. My family was agree with me because I study too in Padova, not only for play volleyball. And okay, I love volleyball. I study too, and but not professional choose. It's impossible that in that time play only volleyball for life.
Perfect.
It's not like now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally different today. Volleyball.
Yes, totally different.
It's very important.
I was yes, I was in a college, in a school college. And I haven't money, only the money for live every day.
Okay. And And when did you realize that you could play in the national team? For example, in this time before the 1980s, Italy had this fantastic championship in 1978, the World Championship, where Italy became second behind the Soviet Union. And when did you realize you could play in the national team and you could be part of the sixth team in the court? When did you start to think, okay, volleyball is something serious for me, and Italy is growing, Italy is changing in the vision about volleyball? When did you realize it could be possible to be more and more important player?
But when I was a player in Turin with Prandi, when we won the first Italian championship,
Okay.
we was all the team, not only me. We was very, very young.
Yeah.
I was 20 years old
Okay.
when I won the first championship, and in that period, I know that it's possible that I play volleyball only for my life. Pitera was the coach in 1978 when you talk about the fantastic second place in Rome, and I remember my first Olympic Games in 1980.
Yes.
In Moscow, and maybe with my first won in Italian championship, I understand that maybe I can play only volleyball for my life.
Yes, absolutely. And you played this Olympic Games in Moscow. How was it for you to be in an Olympic game, to be able to play against the Russian, the Bulgarian, Brazil? How was it for you as a young player to be part of this?
It's unbelievable because the Olympic spirit that I was 21 years old.
Yes.
And there aren't social, there aren't media, only newspapers. And I don't know what is Olympic Games. And I remember the big stadium in Moscow, the first day of the Olympic Games. A lot of great emotions. It's unbelievable. I was with the other players. Many players comes from 1978. They was older than me, and Pitera believe in me, and I played my first Olympic Games. For Italy was second because Italy was present in Montreal for the first time in the history of Italian Federation. 76 was the first time, and in 80 the second, and 84 with Silvano Prandi in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
For the Olympic Games.
Yes. And this time when you started to play at a top level, do you have somebody, for example, that you wanted to emulate? I'm always make this question because when I was young in Chile, we look over the mountains and we look to Argentina, to Brazil, and we wanted to play like the Brazilian, like the Argentinian. Do you have somebody you wanted to? Okay, I like this play, how we play. I want to play like this, or it was your own history. I want to play like Franco. This is my own way of volleyball. Or do you have somebody you admire, for example?
Yes, in my mind, I was a volleyball player only.
Okay.
Because I have two things. Because my family, they want that I study. I study, and I went in a school, in a university, and it's okay, I study, but the other thing for me was volleyball. I love it, unbelievable, a lot every day. I have a good train in touring, in particular with Silvano Prandi. I was very young. I have many technical problems. And with Silvano, we work a lot before the beginning, the normal train, after the train. He helped me a lot. For me, Silvano was the most important coach in my life,
Fantastic.
sport life. And not sport only for sport life, because Silvano Prandi, in that times, he comes in my school to talk with my teachers in mathematics, in physics. It's another volleyball. It's we was a family in Turin. We was friends. My captain, I remember, he helps me to study mathematics. Because he was a student in university, and one time in a week he helps me in mathematics for my school. It's a wonderful period of my life, to my growth, to my way in that period.
Fantastic. And I have the opportunity to know Silvano Prandi, and we talk about so much volleyball, and one of the things he told me is what you're saying about the importance, he said, about the communications, to be able to talk with the players, to talk and to communicate. One of his vision to make better players, to train after the training, to improve many things, technical things, mental things. So for me, what you're saying is absolutely true, and have the opportunity to talk with him. It's amazing to meet people also like as you, who is part of the volleyball history, of the world volleyball history. For me, it's incredible. I wanted to continue our conversation, Franco, about your experience in Los Angeles, because in Los Angeles you won with Silvano the bronze medal, and this team, as you told me, there were many players. I think from Rome in '78 there were Marco Negri, Lanfranco. I can remember other players, and also there were younger players like Luqueta. So I wanted to ask you about your experience in this Olympic Games, your second Olympic Games, and about your emotions or your remembrance about the bronze medal in this Olympic Games.
It's a fantastic moment for me, the most important in national team, because we played very, very well in that tournament. And I remember the semi-final. We play against Brazil.
Brazil, yes.
Brazil, and we won the first set.
Yes.
And after, they have a very good technical in a new in a jump serve. Yes. It's all the teams began to serve in jump. Exactly. And they play very, very, very well, and we lose 3-1 that semi-final, and the day after we play the final for third and fourth place with Canada, and we won, and I am very happy to have the bronze medal today, because for me the Olympic Games now too is the most important and wonderful moment of sport, because the World Championship of Volleyball, European Championship, Pan American Championships are important, but the Olympic Games it's fantastic. There are all the athletes of all the sports. In the Olympic Village, you can meet a lot of people. You can talk about athletic, about basket, about everything. The Olympic Games was very, very important moment, I think, for all the athletes. It's a moment very difficult for world history in Los Angeles, because there are many difficulties where a lot of military near us. We have a lot of controls, like in Moscow too.
Yes.
My two Olympic Games was in the very difficult moment of the world, because the East against the Ovest was the very nervous moment, and we have a lot of controls, a lot of military, but this is good for play, but we have not a good feeling near us.
Yes, absolutely. And I have the opportunity also to interview many players from, for example, from Brazil or Argentina, who plays the Olympic game in Los Angeles, and mostly everybody of them told me about the importance of sport in USA, and especially in this sport arena, because today we can watch many of this game in YouTube, and especially for me as a sport lover and volleyball lover, I could watch the quality of the transmission, especially from views from behind the court, so we could watch the game more as an expert from behind, and not only over the net. Okay, so for me it was a fantastic game, and I watched your team play. I watched you playing with the number 4, and you were always an outside hitter, or sometimes you played in the middle or in the opposite position, or always you were
on 4. Yes, outside hitter. But in that period, I attack a lot from second line, because we don't play with the opposite like now. Because in Los Angeles was the very important moment for the changement of volleyball. Yes. Because Doug Bill, I work with Doug Bill too in Italy, in Milano. Was my coach, and I think he is a wonderful person, and very. It was not only coach but manager, because it's a very good manager. And in the Olympic Games of Los Angeles, his team play volleyball. And they change volleyball, because play like volleyball. Kirali and Berzins, they receive in all the 6 positions. The central hitter don't receive, and this tactical play was born in Los Angeles, in the USA team of Doug Bill.
Exactly. And I wanted to ask you about this, about the evolution of volleyball, because as I know, you played in different generations of Italian volleyball, of the national team. And after Los Angeles, I think, or maybe later, you were part also of a new generation where, for example, were Sorsi, Gardini, many young new players who made, after this, a fantastic generation who won almost everything: World Championship, European Championship, World Cup. How was it for you, being part of a former generation, be able to play with these young players? Did they have, for example, respect for you older? Was it difficult? How was it for you being part of this new change of the generation of Italian volleyball?
Yes, maybe for Italy was a very important moment in 1985. When I played in Modena, because with me in Modena began to play Cantagalli, began to play Bernardi,
Yes.
and Lucchetta too. Lucchetta was in Olympic Games in Los Angeles too, and Velasco too. He began in Modena in 1985, and we in Modena we won 4 Italian championships. And indeed, in that period, the new players, the new generation, the generation of Zorzi, Lucchetta, Bernardi, maybe I play with him a little part in national team, but they wasn't very, very strong. And I finished in 1988, and they won from 89-90 from Brazil. They won the first world championship, and maybe our generation, I don't know, help him. We play with him because in Italy I finished to play in 94. I was 35 years old. And I play a lot of years with all the players, not in national team, but in Modena, for example, with Velasco 4 years, and with appunto Bernardi, Lucchetta, Caragalli, and a lot of others. Yeah, Toffoli in other, but Toffoli play with me in the national team in the maybe 86 in France. In France, we play a world championship, and we lose a lot because our federation want to the team was with the whole of very young players. They are not ready for play the high level in 86. In 90, they was ready for win.
Yes. This generation from 1985 for the Junior World Championship, where I took part. I play for Chile and Milan. There were all this generation, and as you told me, I have watched some videos. There was many young players, maybe too young to play at this level. It's true. Experience is so important in volleyball, and that's why I admire so much what you are doing in Italy, about to respect experience, to respect older trainers, but they have so many experience that not sometimes or many times the young trainers are able to do, because you have watched decades of volleyball, you have played, you have talked and communicated with many players and coaches, and that it's so important. And also, as I told you before, Silvano told me, and I wanted to ask you now, Franco, before I will change my history, about what was your most remembered championship? Because sometimes as a player you played fantastic but you didn't win, but sometimes maybe you didn't play so well, but you feel that your experience were fantastic, that you grow as a player. Do you have some championship you remember, especially in all your championship, all your years of an active volleyball player?
Well, it's not easy to choose which one was the better, but the first was the better in Turin in 1979 with Prandi. With Turin. Turin was the first time that they won the Italian championship. In Modena too, because I won 3 Italian championships in Torino, in Turin, and 4 in Modena with Panini, with Velasco, and it was fantastic. When we play against Maxicono, it's unbelievable matches in Maxicono. The players was Zorzi, Gianni, Gravina, and
fantastic teams.
Yes, in Milano too. In Milan, I play with Doug Bill,
Yes.
and we lose the final of the Italian Championship. But we was a fantastic team. Zozzi played with me, Lucchetta, and
Quiroga also.
Svertlik. Svertlik, sorry.
Yes. And Raúl Quiroga, the Argentina plays with you?
No, Raúl Quiroga in Modena with Panini.
Okay.
Yeah. With Panini.
Yeah.
In Milan, we have two USA players, Jeff Stork, the setter, and Svertlik.
Okay.
And I play outside hitter near Svertlik, and we won two world championship for clubs, and we won another European Cup, and 2 times we lose the final, 1 time with Maxicono and 1 time with Sisley. But in that period in Italy, maybe was the better period of volleyball, because all the best players of the world they are all in Italy. Kira Timons in Ravenna, Jeff Stork, Svertlik, all the maybe Sverver in Sisley. All the best player was in Italy, because in Italy we have in that time a lot of money, because the big owners they invest a lot in volleyball. Berlusconi in Milano, Benetton in Treviso, Sisley, in Messaggero too, Gardini. There was a lot of money, and all the best players of the world came in Italy.
Exactly. And later, I think also the Russian players go to Italy.
Yeah.
Like Fomin, for example, or Sapega. I don't know. Italy has always been a fantastic place to play volleyball. And when did you start thinking about maybe it's a hard question for a sport for a player, and about retirement? Because when you're young, you play, you didn't think about your future. But when did you think, okay, I will retire when I'm 35, 40, and what I will do after this? You told me you studied, but what do you have plans for your retirement, or what's the story for you?
Yes, I think a lot about this, because I think about my future after when I stopped to play volleyball, and I study at school, but a very important moment was for me in Milan, because I asked Mediaset, is the big industry in Italy, and the owner, Silvio Berlusconi, was our president. I asked him if it's possible to participate in the experience internal for sorry, but my English is not I want to be manager.
Okay. Yeah.
And I studied because I want to be a manager for sport, and I studied because in Mediolanum there was Milan Calcio, and we was Mediolanum, there was Rugby 2 and hockey on ice.
Yeah.
And I studied 3 years, a lot of things because I want to be a manager. And when I finished in Modena in '94, I began to be a manager, a sport director in Modena.
Okay. And how long did you work as a sport manager? You work also as a trainer, if I'm not wrong. How long was this part of your life?
My life is very. I changed a lot in my life, because I was manager, sport director. I was a coach in Modena, because I studied with Silvano Prandi.
Okay.
I studied to to be a coach, and I was a coach in Modena. 1, 2, 3 parts of here, and I won 1 Italian championship, 1 European championship, and after I was coaching Rome, but in my head there was to be a manager, and I in maybe 2000 I changed. 2001 I finished in Rome, and I began to work in football. I studied and I went in Parma, and I work in the stadium. I was a stadium manager in Parma football team and in Modena football team. It's very good because I want to change. I like to change. I work in Sky Sport because I was opinionist, journalist in television. I talk about volleyball from 2000 to the 2012. I finished with the Olympic Games of London.
London, yes.
And to work in television in Sky Sport. And during this experience, I was manager in football. And I love to do politics in sport. And I was president of CONI in Modena. CONI is Olympic Committee National, like CIO, but in Italy. And I work in a little region in Modena. And because I like the political sports, and after I work with the Italian Federation, I was in the governance of Italian Federation for 4 years. And these parts of me, it's very, I don't know. I love volleyball. I love to be coach, but I love to be manager. Maybe a good coach is a good manager. For this reason, for example, I think that Doug Bill teach me a lot, because Doug Bill was a very, very good manager when he went in, and when he worked with me in Milan. He was a manager because he, for the first time, we have maybe 4 coaches, 1 for attack, 1 for defense, 1 for, it's unbelievable for that period. It's 19 and 90, and Doug Bill was very, very a vision about the future of volleyball. He was a great manager, and I like this part because I think the manager near the coach or together are very, very important if you want to win in sport. It's impossible that only the coach. The manager near the coach, it's absolutely necessary.
I agree, absolutely. And today we can see you on LinkedIn with all your coaching courses, with all your managing teaching persons of industries, of I don't know, many places. And I think maybe your sport experience is very important to this. Please tell me shortly about your current experience as a professional coach.
Yes, now I am a professional coach in coaching.
Yes.
Coaching is the philosophy that we use in all the world. And I am a practitioner in inner game. Inner game is the other system, very important to work with the mindset of the people. Yes. And I work with a great master, was Timothy Galloway, it's an American coach. And I use this, my coaching and inner game to work with the teams in sport, individual or teams. We work with all, because the individual work is very, very important. The team working too is very important. But I don't work only in sport, but I work today a lot in a team building with the industries, with the other, and maybe it's a beautiful, very, very beautiful work. I think that our mind, it's very, very important, like a body, like a spirit. Body, mind, and spirit. All the three parts of us are very, very important in everything we want to do in life.
Absolutely.
And, yes.
Yes.
And I have this, my conviction comes from, because I have 4 children, and my first coaching are in my family with my children.
The most important team. Yes, I know.
Yeah, the most important team.
Franco, I as we talked up before our interview, I could speak about volleyball many hours, but I know you have a tight schedule, and I wanted to thank you again for accepting my invitation. As I told in the beginning of this interview, I have the honor to meet you. I also have the honor to watch you play in the Olympics and in the club. And for me, it's a fantastic and like a dream come true to be able to speak with you. I'm a very big fan of you, of what you have done in volleyball, and also what you're doing today. I agree absolutely in what you're saying, the concept that you are telling me. And I wanted to thank you again for this conversation. I want to send you my best wishes for you, for your family, and also for Italy, for volleyball, and that you'll be part of this many years to continue. So many thanks, Franco. It was a pleasure to meet you.
No, many thanks you, because I am sorry because my English is not very good, but I am happy to know you, to meet you, and maybe work with our history. It's very important, because from history comes the present, and from the present arrives our future. And maybe the memory is it's important work. It's important work for my children too, no? Because sometimes I talk about my past, but maybe I am happy to know you. I know your profile, amor por el voleibol, and now I know you, and I am very happy to know you. I watch the photographies you with Silvano Prandi, with Doug Bill, with Velasco. Before the 3 coaches in the Hall of Fame was my coaches. I am very lucky that in my career I know the 3 fantastic coaches, but 3 fantastic people.
Super.
Okay.
Bye.
Super you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.